This is the moon above, a whale of a tale, and it's all true, I swear by my tattoo.
Hi everybody. I'm used to having something stiff and big in my mouth, but this is something different entirely. Okay. How we doing tonight? Yes.
Very well.
I feel the same way too. Is there anybody in the audience, make a little noise, who's an engineer? I just have a feeling. And that feeling is so wrong. Okay, wait a sec, I'm good at this. Is there anybody in the audience tonight who's an energy trader? Come on. Nobody? Damn. Okay, one last one. Is there anybody in the audience tonight who's either a sex offender, an actor, or any other profession? We're gonna have some fun. Okay, so a little background. Ben asked me last week, last minute, to do a story. Because I think maybe somebody died, they were supposed to do it. Or maybe they had like a freak tongue accident. Because I'm gonna tell you something for free. Do not stick your tongue out of a moving vehicle. Just because a poopy can do it doesn't mean you should. The other day I was driving and I smelled something really good out the window. I don't know what it was. I was like, damn, that's fine. So I stuck my tongue out and all of a sudden a semi-trailer came, snapped it right off. Luckily the ambulance man found it kind of flapping in a gutter and was able to dash it off with some milk and pop it back in. But I tell you, be careful. So the theme for tonight, Ben told me, was going down swinging. Now, I've had a lot of people try to get me to go down on things that are swinging. I think Ben has too, if you know what I mean. But I was like, Bambina, scratch beneath the surface. Try and find something a little bit deeper. So then I thought about baseball. Everybody's gonna do a story about baseball. How wrong was I? Pussies and music and autism, but luckily I had autism in mind. So I decided to do a story deep, deep, deep in my history that happened a long, long, long time ago. Last summer, I got into a little bit of trouble with the law. I ended up having to spend 9 months in a maximum security prison. And although I made tons of new friends, I was really surprised that you aren't allowed to keep vanity tapeworms with you in prison. I mean, not even little ones. How are you supposed to lose weight in there? We always had tapeworms growing up. My grandmammy would give them to me for my birthdays. I had one named Roy once that helped me lose 22 pounds in one day. He would eat anything, even my left kidney. So when the jaundice started to happen, the only way we could get him to come out was by dangling a piece of pork by my ass. He slithered right out. It was so hilarious. So on the morning when I woke in jail with some discharge and was allowed to leave, I could really smell freedom in the air. I could smell it all the way until the gates clinked behind me. And then I couldn't smell it anymore. I could feel that my panties were itchy after being in a plastic bag for 9 months. And they weren't totally clean in the first place. And I could also feel that I was flat out of cash. Now, I had already harvested enough organs in my youth to play Bach's Toccata and Fugue in D minor, so that wasn't an option. And I was actually born with a rare condition that doesn't allow me to be a prostitute or a clarinetist. Because my tonsils are actually dangling right behind my front teeth. So I can't put anything big or normal or small in there, no matter how much I talk about blowjobs. When I chew on my food, I actually have to do it in front of my teeth and behind my lips. Like that. It's so complicated. So all of that was out. So I did the only thing there is to do when you can't sell your spleen for cash. I went home to my mommy's house. And when I stepped out of that rusty bus in Bruja, Puerto Rico, I heard my stiletto accidentally pierce a dead chicken skull, and I knew that I was home. I could already smell the lechosa con queso and barbacoa pig on a spit coming from my mommy's house as I rounded the corner. This was a special day, not just because I was home, but because it was the lady at the Guadalajara Hablábamos Spirit Festival. And everyone was over in their whitest whites and their conch shells necklaces, chanting and dancing, drinking rum and smoking cigars, giving thanks all over Ricky Martin's new CD. As I stepped onto the front path, I could see my great Auntie Melita to my left, beating a neighborhood slut with her daisy bouquet, trying to break the hex my cousin Hernando had put on her after she porked my other cousin Bernardito at her quinceañera. It was so good to be home. And even better, I could see my dearest friend Nelson through the window. Nelson! I sang out, but he didn't turn. He was just like staring at the wall. Oh well, he must be really enjoying the view, I thought to myself. Nelson was the loveliest man you will ever meet. We would graze on the lawn when we were little, paint each other's toenails. He made angels look like assholes. Just kidding. Sorry, Angeles. Nelson is so lovely. His name should be Lovely. Nelson! I sang out again, but nothing. What the fuck? I walked into the house as a huge plume of cigar smoke came towards me. What? Oh, Mommy! It was my mother. She stood before me, looking as grave as a grave can look. Bambina, she said, Nelson is possessed. What? Don't talk back to me, hija. This is very bad. Excuse me. This is a very bad espíritu, Bambina. Very violent, very sexual. I thought it was your father, but it couldn't be because he doesn't like my patata frita. I'm gonna go get a chicken to clean the spirit off. And my mother puffed her cigar off. I looked over to where I could see the back of Nelson's head. It wasn't moving. The only thing that was moving was his fingers smooshing a patata frita into my mother's tablecloth. I walked over a little bit slowly. Hi, Nelson, I said. Nelson turned to me. His eyes rolled right back into his head, and his jaw was grinding. How are you today, Nelson? He said. But I actually couldn't tell if he said or so I had to pretend I understood so as not to hurt his feelings. Oh, that's nice. I'm so hungry. You are a fat girl. What? I couldn't believe my ears. I really couldn't. Listen, don't talk to me like that. Do you understand what I'm talking about? But he didn't understand. He wasn't even listening to my feelings. This devil spirit had already jumped up and was zigzagging around the room like some kind of annoying autistic kid, barking and sticking his tongue around. Then he went up to some group, tilted his head like some sort of asshole velociraptor. He said, Bambina wants to kill us all, pointing at me. Oh, that's not true. Sorry, I yelled. This spirit is really starting to piss me off right now, okay? I have only ever wanted to kill one person in my life, and I did it. And we all know how that turned out. So this Nelson spirit was lying about me, and he was calling me fat. Nelson, that really hurting my feelings when you said that, I called out. But I couldn't see him. I'm swapping to present tense now, just to keep it going. I look under the table, and that's when I heard a shriek. It's my great Auntie Molita. Nelson has made his way behind her and is licking the back of her kneecaps. She's thrashing him with a bouquet, spitting rum into the air to the heavens, but the evil spirit is still stuck. And Nelson, I tried to make my way over, but a ball of cigar smokes and feathers beat me to it. It's my mother and a chicken. She picks up a machete from a nearby shrine and cuts off the little chicken's head, trying to brush Nelson with it as she calls on the other Espiritos to help us. But Nelson's blue balls are too great. The spirit is sticking, and he thrusts my mother back into a table of cakes as they all spill onto the floor. The headless chicken runs around the room, and I think my auntie's maybe starting to enjoy the licking because she's groaning and smacking her gums, and then boom! My three bodybuilder cousins, Arnando, Bernardo, and Chad, burst in and start to go for Nelson, and I'm getting more and more upset because I still can't believe that evil spirit could call someone fat even if they're not really that fat. And I'm just still thinking about it, and it's making me even more mad as Chad drops to the ground and Arnando flies out the window. And the more I think, the more pissed off I get. This evil spirit is probably a fatty. That's why he has to possess skinny guys that are so gay that they don't have any pleats left. And when I get pissed, I get autistic pissed. I get Ben pissed. It's time. I grab my mama's Guadalajara vase and I raise it high above my head and pow! Nelson punches me right in the mouth. I fall to the floor and feel my tonsils tickle as I spit my two front teeth and some blood onto the carpet beside me. Shit, that's gonna stain, I say, looking at the red splotch in the carpet, as Nelson straddles me and starts to punch my unprotected tonsils like they're a boxing speedball. Punch. Gag. I'm gagging more than Monica Lewinsky on a Sunday. I'm starting to lose air. Nelson's fists are becoming a blur. I see a bright light, a tunnel, two puppies at the end of it with this really hot guy, and I'm starting to walk towards it. But then I remember, I'm not fat. I may have gained a little weight in the pen, but now I can just get a tapeworm. Oh my God, that old steak by the butt to get a tapeworm out trick. That's it. I try to shake the puppies and light out of my head as Nelson's fists come into view. Bang again. Mammy! I yell, splitting out more blood onto the floor. Bring me some carne, bring me some pork. Remember the tapeworm. A puff of smoke rushes out the back door. As Nelson punches me again, I garner all my strength and my flexibility to try to free one leg from beneath his crotch. I gently start to undo his pants with my toes. If you can't use your mouth, it helps to be good with your feet. Then, with the other leg, I twist the socket in my hip, which was the upside of a gymnastics accident when I was 12, and I twist my leg 180 degrees so I can get both feet holding onto either side of his pants, like this if these were my toes. Smack! Oh, such a bastard! Trying to hold down the vomit when I see my mammy running behind Nelson with the roast pig. Horror spreading across her face as she momentarily points to the stain on the carpet. What does she expect? 1, 2, 3! I rip Nelson's pants down with my toes and my mother slaps the pig beneath his butt. His eyes are the first to look back into his head. Then a rumble and a shake. His mouth opens in sort of some kind of sick reverse orgasm. And then the jots and the booms and the smacks. The spirit shoots into the pig. The only sound left, a gentle spinning of the blade on the floor. I look up at Nelson. His face is glowing and gay and warm. Damn, honey, you look sick, he says. And I feel a bit fucked. You have no idea, Nelson, baby. You have no idea. We'll tell you all about it. But I'm kind of hungry. I'm just going to have a little bite of this pig. Thank you very much.